Hi, today I'm going to show you how you can use the EverWebinar to generate your own unique webinar links, because I know EverWebinar doesn't have this feature where you can generate unique links, because most of the time you have to let your participants to fill in the details like their name and their email. Only you can generate the link automatically through EverWebinar. But sometimes you got your lead through other platform. Maybe you have your own leads and you want to help them to generate the link and without themselves to register again, which what this is a step might make some of the participants might run away. So I think this is the not so easy part. So for the sake of sharing, because I find it is very not easy to make it up. So I think it's been difficult for me, and I've been through it, and I want to share this up just to help you guys. Yeah, just let's see. So in order to generate the unique link, you need to have 3 components. This is what worked for me, right? And webinar, of course, and we need to use the ManyChat to kind of call the EverWebinar API. API is a kind of like a waiter that you ask the waiter to do something, but ManyChat is someone that you can communicate with the waiter. All right, so how this works is, first I have my Google Sheet with have my new leads. So I input the name and the email to the ManyChat, and ManyChat will send it to the EverWebinar. And then from there, using the custom API, I can generate the unique link, and then send it back to the ManyChat. And ManyChat will automatically put the URL into my Google Sheet, and then I can send it to my participants. All right. So we have to start from the hardest part first, which is how to generate the link. So first, you go to the EverWebinar and go to the custom API to get the details. And second, we're going to the ManyChat and use one of the action called external requests to communicate with the EverWebinar. Right? And this is how you get the details of your API. So once you log into your EverWebinar and you click here, Advanced button, right? Because I hide it up from my privacy. Click on Advanced button, and you got this kind of things. All right. Then click on API Custom Integration, and here you have your member ID, webinar ID, hash and API key. Okay, which you might need it later. All this hide up. Okay, so here I have some number, some code, and here's some code as well. Okay, so you click on this one, read API documentation. This is very important because it's like manual guide for every API, the kind of like Facebook API, WhatsApp API, a lot of API, they have to have like a manual that show you how you can use them. So same for the EverWebinar, it has the API, and this is the guide. Okay, so you click on this button, so we'll go to the guide. And this is how you go to the EverWebinar API documentation. So you can go ahead here, EverWebinar API. Okay, this is the guide that you might need to see. All right, cool. So it shows how you can connect API and retrieve a full list, get details, and this is very important because the most typical part is I have always been confusing here, because this is show you how you can connect to the API. And these 3 things actually, based on EverWebinar, it has a different number, and this is like the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. So I never noticed that. I thought just EverWebinar API is just one API, but I never know that it would become into 3. It's like you have 3 waiters. All right, then you have to call for each different function. If you call the first waiter, it will give you all the leads, the details, and this one, second one, all get the details. And what we want to generate the unique link is this one, is the third one, register a person to a specific. Okay. So later when we use it, when we write the code, you remember, we need to use this one, schedule. We need to select which is 3. Right? This is for writing code is 3. If you write 2, it means using the second one and first one. So this is always the hardest part for me, which is I never know of this thing. So when we use the schedule, we need to write this code later. I will talk you back later. Okay, so remember this one. So we're going to connect the API and using this one, the third one, the third waiter. Okay, cool. So right now we go ahead to the ManyChat and we create a new flow. Okay, so right now I'm in the ManyChat. So we'll go ahead to the automation and click on flow, right? And we create a new flow on the right top here, create a new flow, create an empty flow, right? So for me, I will use it like any name, but maybe EverWebinar. Okay, create, all right? And we are here. So the hardest part is we need to create how to generate a link to connect it. So first we go ahead to click on add new button. We add on an action. Okay, so we can click on this action, and we scroll down, and down. As you see here, external requests. We're going to use this to use the EverWebinar API. Click on this external request, right? And here, add your request. You're going to click on here, okay? And you can see here, this is something like, oh my God, is something like so complex to you, okay? So it makes me a while because I'm not a tech person. My background is not on IT or software engineering. So it takes me a while to understand what this kind of things, okay? As we look at here, the request type, whether it's a post or get. So at here, we need to have to select post. Okay, we have different method here, but we click on post, all right. And next thing is request URL, all right. What link we need to put here, okay. So in here, we need to use the EverWebinar's link. So we go back to the EverWebinar tab here, all right. And as you can scroll down, register a person, this one, click at this link. As you can see, it will tell you how you can use it. The type is post, okay, we did it. And the complete URL is this one. So we have to copy this link, right, this link, register. All right, and then we paste it over here, okay. And I'm gonna explain what are the 4 these things here. What are the headers, body, response, and response mapping. Okay, I'll talk one by one. So header is something for you when what type of file you have to return. So and sometimes when we use an API, okay, let's say we call a waiter, then he serves whether you want to have what form. Let's say your main dish you want to have rice or noodle or maybe bread, okay. So API will put us is whether we want like text file or JSON file or audio file, for example. It will return different types of the file. So header here is for us to choose which one do you want to choose, or do you want to choose text file, JSON file, or audio file. Just like you want to choose rice, noodle, or bread, some kind of like that. And in here, because in EverWebinar API, it's just only have the JSON file. So you don't have the choice, all right? You don't have the choice, no choice, all right? So for sure, it will just return or give you the JSON file. So at here, we no need to put anything at the header here, okay? So we can just leave it empty here because we no need to choose. Only when there's there are other options, only we need to input the header file here. Okay, so we can leave it blank here because in EverWebinar it just only written as JSON file. It's one kind of the format of file. And next here is the body. Okay, body here is because right now, as I mentioned, header here we just have JSON file. So we have to type the code for the JSON inside the body here. So we have to type the code over here, our JSON code here. All right. Once type here, you can preview here. In this section, we see whether we can check is there any error. All right. So beforehand, we can check any error from here preview. Once you've done the code, and we can click on the test request here, and then we show us the response here. So this the third column here, the response, it shows us what are the response is gonna come up. Okay, so we can check whether we successfully or not. We successfully use this API or not, the response. Okay, so once we got the response, and we can go to the response mapping, means that the thing we need to get, for example, when we call the API, we have different kind of things. For example, we have the name, we have the phone, different kind of information. So we want to take what kind of information. Okay, so let's say, for example, I have 1, 2, 3 things. Then I want to take this live URL. Then I want to take this thing and put it into the ManyChat. And I want to use it. And this is the function for response mapping. I want to map the thing. This one is from the EverWebinar. And I will put in the ManyChat. And I can use it for other purpose. Okay, for my own purposes. And this is called the response mapping. Right? So in summary, header, we leave it empty. And body, later we're going to type some code. Once the code is successful, we have some response here. And then we take the response and put it into ManyChat for further use. Okay, so without further ado, let's write some JSON code. So for JSON code, when you need to type something, normally you have a curly bracket, all right, and end with a curly bracket. And when we type something, we will have something like the open and close bracket and semicolon and open and close bracket for one line. So here is like, for example, our title, and here is our data here, and we comma, and we go and proceed on the next, and just a general one. So let's say this is the second title, and this is the second data, and so forth. While the last line, we don't need to have any comma. Okay, so we don't need to have any comma here. Okay, so what we need to put the code over here is we need to have the API key. All right, so if you're not sure what we have, then I can have this code in the description box where you can copy and paste it, and you have to change your own data. Okay, and how we can note that what things we need to put, we can go to the EverWebinar documentation. As you can see here, the things we need to include, the request must include all of the following fields. All right, the one with the 1 star, API key we need to include, webinar ID, first name, last name is optional, email for sure, and the schedule. All right, this is the important thing. Schedule, as I mentioned, because we are using the third API here, this is second, this is first. So schedule we need to have is number 3. Okay, and then we have phone number, phone country number, time zone. This is important because you get the correct time zone. Okay, Then I just paste the code over here. Then you can change based on your own API key and so forth. Okay. So once you paste this thing, so you change the API key. All right, this API key is what you copy from your own, because everyone is different. You copy your own API key and put it here, and then you put your webinar ID here, also from the EverWebinar Advanced code there just now, as I showed before. Okay, so you just change this to, and remember, schedule, you need to put 3. This is the most important part. IP address is optional, so I put NULL, nothing, because I'm from Malaysia, so I will put my time zone. The most important part is this one, GMT, and you can Google search it, what is your time zone, and the date is can just randomly put it, because it will automatically actually based on the schedule in your webinar. You have different time slot, all right? Okay, and this one is this thing I want to explain here, how you can add this thing. All right. Okay, this thing is actually get from the ManyChat itself. Okay, so I put that here is add this field. All right, and I generate my own custom board field, which I put ever webinar name. Sorry, this is the name. Put it here. Add a field. Later I will show you how you can generate your own custom field. Ever webinar name and ever webinar email and ever webinar phone. Okay, right. So this is a custom field. Later I will explain, because this is yourself will generate it. Because we have 2 fields. One is the custom field inside ManyChat. This is the ManyChat feature. ManyChat feature. We have the custom field and also the board field. So we create under a category of custom field because easy for me to refer. I put EverWebinar underscore name, and I put EverWebinar underscore email, and EverWebinar underscore phone, right? So you can generate in the setting there. I will show you. So let me show you how you can create this thing first. Okay, so you first go to setting, and as you can see here, there's a so-called automation field. This place, you click at here. All right, then you create your new user field. Create new user field, and you can type this thing, name, because it's as a text. All right, so this one no need, just leave blank and click create. And next, then you can create a webinar email. Okay, same is the text. And while for the phone, a webinar phone is a number. Okay, and create. And the next thing you have to create is a webinar live room URL. Okay, no need to be exact. As long as you understand, you can just put a URL. As long as you understand, it's a text form. Okay, just these few things need to register. Create these 4 custom field. Okay, then we go back. So we're back here. So as you can see, the blue color, you click add a field, and then just now you have created the field, and then you input here. Okay, all right. So once we have done this thing, right, we go ahead and test the request and see what it will happen. Okay, there's error because I put the wrong API key. Let me put the correct API key, and you should be status will be successful. Right, so I put my failed API key. So if it show here, status success means it worked. But how can you check is whether it not worked? Let's say I go back and then change the schedule. I say I change to another schedule. Let's say I right now change the schedule into 2. All right, and which I test the request, it will have error. Okay, you see that the status is error, and the API key is required. And the time I keep on asking why is there's some error because of the schedule part. Okay, you need to put 3. So in your case, you might be doesn't run successfully because the field that you need to put the name and the phone and the thing, they are empty, right? So for the case of testing, so you can go back and then type in your name, your phone, and your email manually. Let's say it manually type in and you try it again, then you might get it correctly. What I mean here is because this one you just created, you don't have any data. So for the sake of testing, you can put your name, AAA, and then you manually put your email first, aaa@gmail.com, and then your phone, okay, your phone number to test it out. Okay, if it works well, then it should be no problem for the later on for how we generate the link. All right. So yeah, you manually put it first. And for right now, I put it back as the user field. So once you know this status is success, then scroll to the end. And you can see something, this one, which is called the live room URL. This is the thing that you need to extract this data and put it into ManyChat. Then for each person, we're going to generate the link. Okay, so this is the thing, and this is the link, the link, the by saying the unique link. Okay, but this is in a JSON form where when you call it up from a JSON, it will remove this thing, this kind of thing. You can try to copy this link once you have generated your own, and you can paste it in the browser to test it out what it is. Okay, so once we get this response, we are good, and we move on to the response mapping, which is this one, 4th column. All right. As you can see here, this empty. Then we can add a thing. So enter the JSON path. So how we can notice and how we can write this one? Okay, so we need to put sorry, I put a $sign. Okay, the $sign means the root. Means the root. The $sign means the root. And within the root, where we have the curly bracket, let's say we have the title A and title B. Okay, then we have dot, and we call this thing up A. Okay, and if the curly bracket have some more within the A, have some more curly bracket. Let's say we have 2 curly bracket. This in this case, we have curly bracket and curly bracket. This is A. Okay, within the first curly bracket is A, and then within A we have something called B. Okay, within the A bracket. So for that, we need to dot call the A first, and then we dot for the further root to call the B. All right. So same case here for JSON path, because our response is dot user, and success. Let me go back and let you see. Sorry, because I need to kind of hide my API every time. All right, okay, this one. All right, so as you can see, this is the first curly bracket and until the end. So we have a $sign and dot. And within the curly bracket, we have another curly bracket. Okay, this is status success and user. Like this. This is status. This is user. And within the user, we have the curly bracket. And the data we want is here. So the first dot, we are calling out the user. So we first dot user. And then we dot calling up the URL here. The link here, which is so this thing, live room URL. So we dot live room URL. That's how we call for the JSON path. Okay. Then we go to the mapping here. Then we type this up. $.user.live underscore room underscore URL. Okay. Okay. So means that from all the data we generated, we take this specific thing. Okay. And remember, this is very sensitive. Even a single space will not work. Okay. So we're going to be very careful. And then we take this data and put it here. Okay. Put it in the ManyChat EW. We just now created the custom field, which is for me is the live room URL, which is almost the same, but it means for EverWebinar. This thing we put in the ManyChat and we save action. Okay, then we are done for this part to generate the EverWebinar unique link. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna make is I'm gonna make this video into two parts. So this is part one. And the next step is we need to call the Google Sheet where my data store. At first, I need to take the name and the email, and then I send it into this thing, the external request, and it helped me to generate the unique URL. Okay. And the next thing I'll need to have, once I get the URL, I need to put it back into my Google Sheet. Okay, I'm going to put it back to my Google Sheet. All right. And the third thing is we have to create a loop. Means because I want it automatically to help me to generate for multiple person. I don't want to keep on pressing one time, because when I press the flow once, then we create one URL. But what if I want to have generate 100 participants URL? It will be very troublesome. So I need to have a loop which is automatically run until a certain condition, and I can create a multiple URL for different participants. Okay, so that will be on the next part of the video. Okay, yeah. If you have gained some value, yeah, sure, give me a thumbs up. Thank you.